Before anything great happens in your life, before the breakthrough, before the success, before the transformation, something else must happen first. You must believe, not halfway, not when it's easy, not when the stars are aligned. You must believe as if anything is possible, because belief is the birthplace of power. Belief is the spark that lights the fire. And belief is not some soft, hopeful feeling. It is a decision to see beyond your current circumstances, to trust the unseen, to move forward even when there's no evidence that it will work. Look around every invention, every revolution, every breakthrough began in the mind of someone who refused to accept limits, someone who decided that the impossible was only a temporary label. Someone who believed before the world gave them a reason to. That kind of belief doesn't just change your life, it changes the world. Belief is the beginning of everything. It's the foundation upon which all achievement is built. Before any plan, before any action, before any success, there is belief. Not hope, not a wish, not a maybe. A deep internal conviction that what you see in your mind is not only possible but inevitable. Every great idea, every breakthrough, every triumph that has ever changed the world started in the mind of someone who dared to believe it could be done. That belief wasn't just a thought, it was fuel. It pushed them to move, to persist, to create, even when nothing around them validated the vision. Belief turns invisible into visible. It allows you to see what isn't there yet and treat it as if it already is. That mindset gives power to every step you take. When you believe fully, your actions carry a different energy. You don't tiptoe, you commit. You don't hesitate, you move forward with intention. People who build extraordinary lives don't wait for evidence before they believe until the evidence shows up. They make decisions based on vision, not just on current reality. When belief is strong, it overrides doubt. It doesn't mean you never feel fear, it means you don't let fear make the final call. You may hear the voice that says it's too risky, too late, too far out of reach. But when belief is rooted deeply enough, that voice becomes background noise. It no longer runs the show. The power of belief is that it can become louder than the excuses, stronger than the setbacks, and bigger than the obstacles. Belief doesn't come from outside. No one can give it to you. You have to choose it. You have to decide that your dream is more powerful than your fear. You have to decide that the vision you see is real, even when the world doesn't see it yet. The moment you make that decision, everything changes. Your focus sharpens, your energy increases, your ability to keep going no matter what rises to a new level. Look at any story of transformation, any person who rose from struggle to success, and you'll find a turning point. That point wasn't when they got the perfect opportunity or when luck finally arrived. It was when they started to believe, truly believe. That shift in mindset was the match that lit the fire. Everything that came after the hard work, the discipline, the persistence, was built on that initial spark of belief. Belief shapes how you see yourself. It defines how you interpret failure. It colors the way you approach challenges. When you believe in your own power to create, you stop looking for validation and start creating results. You stop doubting your ideas and start building around them. Belief puts you in motion before the path is fully clear, and as you move forward, your world begins to respond. Doors open, opportunities appear, resources show up. Not because they weren't there before, but because belief gave you the vision to see them and the courage to reach for them. The way you think shapes everything you experience. Your mindset is the lens through which you interpret the world, and belief is the filter that colors every thought, decision, and action. If you expect struggle, you will find it. If you expect failure, you will attract it. But if you expect possibility, opportunity, and success, the world begins to open up in ways that seem almost magical. This isn't fantasy, it's the natural effect of belief-driven action. The mind is a powerful engine, and what you feed it becomes the fuel that drives your life forward or holds it in place. Every belief you hold influences your behavior. If you believe you're capable, you take risks. If you believe you're unworthy, you play small. If you believe that the future holds more for you, you'll chase it down with everything you have. But if you believe that your best days are behind you, you won't even try. Your mindset can be your greatest asset or your most dangerous limitation. It isn't shaped by your circumstances, it's shaped by your choices. You choose what thoughts you entertain, what stories you tell yourself, and what you allow to take root in your mind. Most people walk through life with a mindset formed by their past. They define what's possible based on what has already happened. But belief is not built on the past, it's built on potential. When you shift your mindset from one of limitation to one of expansion, you begin to act differently. You move from hesitation to confidence, from fear to focus, from doubt to momentum. This shift doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you become intentional about your thoughts, when you start feeding your mind with possibility instead of problems. You can have the best plans, the most talent, the greatest opportunities in front of you, but if your belief system doesn't support your vision, none of it will matter. You'll self-sabotage. You'll second guess. You'll talk yourself out of taking action. This is why mindset matters more than skill. It's why people with less talent often go further, because they believe in themselves more fiercely, more fully, more consistently. That belief pushes them to try when others quit. It pushes them to fail forward, to learn fast, to stand back up again and again. When you believe in possibility, your energy shifts. You become magnetic to new ideas. You speak with conviction. You attract people who align with your vision. And most importantly, you begin to see options where others see obstacles. You're no longer a prisoner of circumstance. You become a creator of outcomes. You stop waiting for the right conditions and start creating them. This mental shift is what separates those who dream from those who do. Belief-driven thinking is not blind optimism, it's strategic power. It doesn't ignore challenges, but it refuses to be defined by them. It's a mindset that says, no matter how hard it gets, I will find a way. No matter how long it takes, I will keep going. It anchors you in possibility while moving you through the process with strength, clarity, and courage. Limitations are not truths. They are learned beliefs. From a young age, people are taught what's possible and what isn't. They're shaped by the opinions of others, by early experiences, by failures that were never meant to define them but somehow did. A single moment of embarrassment, a comment from a teacher, a lack of encouragement at the right time, these things plant seeds of doubt that grow into invisible walls. The tragedy is not that people lack potential. It's that they live their lives within these walls, never questioning if they belong there in the first place. They accept limitations that were never truly theirs. But the truth is, you were born without limits in your mind. Watch a child try to walk. They fall, they get back up, over and over again. They don't question if they'll walk, they just keep trying. That belief in possibility is pure. It's unshaped by failure, unspoiled by fear. Over time, though, the world begins to shape that belief. People learn to be careful, to play small, to fear judgment and rejection. They start choosing safety over growth, familiarity over freedom, and slowly their internal sense of what's possible shrinks. To reclaim your power, you must question every belief that tells you, I can't. Where did it come from? Whose voice is it really? Is it based on fact or fear? Is it helping you move forward or holding you in place? Every limitation must be put on trial. You have to become the judge of your own beliefs, not just the receiver of them. Just because something hasn't been done by you yet doesn't mean it can't be. Just because you've failed before doesn't mean you're not capable now. Limitations that are learned can also be unlearned. This process begins with awareness. You have to catch the limiting beliefs in real time. That voice that says, you're not smart enough, not strong enough, not ready, that voice isn't truth, it's habit. It's an echo of past conditioning. And the way to change it is to interrupt it, to replace it, to speak possibility into the space where doubt used to live. Every time you do, you weaken the old story and begin writing a new one. Action plays a critical role in this transformation. You don't wait to feel unlimited before you act. You act in small ways that challenge the belief. You take steps that contradict the story of limitation. Each time you succeed, no matter how small the win, you build new evidence. You start creating proof that you are not who you used to be, that your limits are flexible, not fixed. That growth is possible in any direction you choose. Your belief about what's possible is not a reflection of the world, it's a mirror of your mindset. When you change that belief, the world begins to respond differently. You start seeing opportunities you once missed. You begin to attract experiences that align with your new identity. And most importantly, you start living from a place of expansion rather than restriction. The more you challenge your learned limits, the more freedom you create, not just externally, but within yourself. Fear is always present when you stand on the edge of something meaningful. It's the internal resistance that rises the moment you begin to stretch beyond who you've been. It shows up as doubt, hesitation, anxiety, and all the thoughts that try to convince you to turn back. But the presence of fear does not mean stop. It doesn't mean something is wrong. In fact, fear often signals that you're moving in exactly the right direction toward growth, toward progress, toward purpose. Faith is what allows you to keep walking even when fear tries to paralyze you. It's the decision to believe in what you can't yet see, to act with conviction before results appear, to keep showing up even when your knees are shaking. Faith is not the absence of fear. It's what you choose to hold on to when fear arrives. It's the internal strength to trust the process, to believe in your vision, to stay committed to the path even when it gets dark. Fear will always find something to say. It will remind you of every past failure. It will exaggerate the risks. It will whisper lies that sound like logic. But faith speaks a different language. It says, keep going. It says, you were made for this. It says, the fear you feel is not a wall, but a doorway. Learning to lead with faith is a practice. It doesn't happen overnight. It's built by choosing courage one moment at a time. Every time you act despite fear, you strengthen the voice of faith within you. You show yourself that fear doesn't control you, that you are more powerful than the thoughts trying to hold you back. With each brave step forward, you become more grounded, more focused, more unstoppable. Fear often disguises itself as practicality. It tells you to wait until things are more certain. It tells you to gather more information, to prepare a little longer. But deep down, you know the difference between wisdom and hesitation. You know when fear is trying to dress itself up as logic. That's the moment to lean in, not recklessly, but deliberately. Because faith is not blind, it's bold. It doesn't ignore the risks. It just refuses to be ruled by them. When you operate from faith, your energy changes. You begin to carry yourself differently. You speak with more clarity. You move with more purpose. People feel it, and more importantly, you feel it. You feel the shift from shrinking to expanding, from questioning to claiming. Fear might still be in the room, but it's no longer driving the decisions. Everyone feels fear. The ones who rise are not those who eliminate it, but those who walk forward with it. They've trained their minds to trust the vision more than the obstacle. They've learned that fear is just part of the path, not the end of it. With every step led by faith, you build a life not dictated by what scares you, but shaped by what calls you. Faith lets you act in the presence of fear, and in doing so, it transforms fear from a barrier into a bridge. The past has power only when you allow it to write the script for your future. Too many people live chained to what was replaying old failures, regrets, and disappointments, as if they are permanent marks on their potential. They make decisions based not on possibility, but on memory. They allow who they used to be to define who they can become. But the truth is, the past is not a prophecy, it's not a roadmap, it's a teacher. It's meant to inform, not imprison. Every experience, whether painful or triumphant, was simply a lesson. And the purpose of a lesson is to grow from it, not to live inside it. When you carry your past like a weight, you limit your ability to move freely toward your future. You filter new opportunities through old wounds. You question your worth based on what didn't work before. And slowly you begin to shrink your vision to match your past experiences instead of expanding your vision to meet your future potential. But true belief requires that you stop letting yesterday define what's possible today. It means releasing the old story, even if you've lived in it for years, and choosing to write a new one with intention. Your past may have shaped your current reality, but it doesn't have to shape your destiny. You are not your mistakes. You are not the version of yourself that settled, that doubted, that feared. You are the person who survived all of that. You're the person who learned, who endured, who's still standing. And that means you're capable of far more than your past performance would suggest. Belief is the tool that breaks the pattern. It interrupts the cycle of limitation by choosing to view the past not as a limit, but as proof that you can rise. Transformation begins the moment you decide that what's ahead matters more than what's behind. It begins when you choose vision over memory. It begins when you stop letting the voice of failure drown out the whisper of potential. No one else can make this choice for you. You must decide to stop revisiting what you can't change and start creating what you still can. The future is not something that happens to you. It's something you build with every decision, every action, every belief you carry forward. People often wait for a clean slate, a fresh start, some external sign that it's okay to move on. But that permission doesn't come from outside, it comes from within. You get to declare that the past is over. You get to decide that today is the turning point. And that decision changes how you see everything. It changes how you talk to yourself, how you pursue your goals, how you handle setbacks. The past may still whisper from time to time, but it no longer speaks with authority. You're writing a new chapter, and the pen is in your hands. The power to shift your entire future lies in your ability to stop repeating the past and start believing in something better. When you carry yourself like the outcome is already yours, you begin to activate a different level of energy. You speak differently, move differently, show up differently. This is not about pretending or faking confidence. It's about aligning your mindset and behavior with the future you are creating. Most people wait until they achieve success to feel successful. But that's not how transformation works. You must first believe it, embody it, and act in alignment with it. You become the person who would have that result before the result arrives. That is how you create momentum that draws success to you rather than chasing it from a place of lack. Acting as if the vision is already yours doesn't mean living in delusion. It means stepping into your full potential now. If your goal is to become a leader, how would you carry yourself today? If your dream is to build something extraordinary, how would you speak, think, and act? The answer to those questions becomes your new standard. You train your nervous system to be familiar with the feeling of success before it's validated externally. That familiarity removes the fear. It removes the hesitation. It gives you the edge to stay the course even when challenges appear. This practice is about energy and identity. When you show up with a belief that you belong in the room, you behave in ways that confirm it. When you expect to win, you make decisions from a place of clarity, not desperation. You speak boldly. You take risks aligned with your vision. You move like someone who knows the outcome is just a matter of time. And over time, this creates a feedback loop. Your behavior reinforces your belief, and your belief strengthens your behavior. It's a cycle of empowerment that fuels lasting change. There's a distinct difference between wishing for a result and acting in alignment with it. Wishing keeps you passive. Alignment pulls you into motion. It's not just about setting goal sets, about stepping into the version of you who already lives those goals. That version doesn't need to prove anything. That version operates from a place of conviction. The world responds differently to someone who is rooted in belief. You start to attract people, opportunities, and outcomes that match your energy. It's not magic, it's alignment. Many people carry energy of uncertainty, of waiting, of hoping something will change. But the shift happens when you decide. You don't wait for circumstances to confirm your worth. You show up like the decision has already been made. That posture changes everything. You begin to navigate life with focus, confidence, and power. And even when setbacks come, you don't collapse. You adjust, you learn, and you keep moving because the belief hasn't changed, the identity hasn't changed, the vision remains the same, and you're acting in full alignment with it. The challenge for most is giving themselves permission to live as that future version now, to stop asking if they're ready and start showing up as if they are. That single shift in energy, in posture, in belief can open doors that preparation alone never could. You're not waiting to arrive, you've already claimed it internally. Everything else is just the process of catching up.